Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Dr. Mark Scherer, founder and CEO of Encompass Life, a pioneering personal development and coaching firm rooted in quantum transformation techniques. With a passion for awakening human potential, Mark and his team deliver unique programs, immersive retreats, and innovative coaching experiences that guide individuals, teams, and professionals through rapid, soul-aligned breakthroughs. Encompass Life is recognized for fusing quantum healing, holistic health, and spiritual insight to foster deep, lasting self-realization and true personal development. Mark, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you, sir. And boy, that was a mouthful, huh?
Yeah, I hope you liked it.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me a little trip down memory lane to before you started Encompass Life. What were you doing at the time, and what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
I've been interested in consciousness since I was a kid. I just didn't know what it was called. I went to a Catholic school and just listening to kind of the stories of biblical stuff and like wondering why people weren't doing that today. Didn't really know what it was about, but I read the stories like everybody else did, and there were some things that made sense to me, and there's some things that felt really weird to me. So I guess I've been formally studying consciousness for about 35 years with the different.
Mark, I lost you. Is that my internet? It's not my internet. Hello, hello. Hello?
Lost you. Yeah, we lost you, man. My internet's good.
Yeah, I don't think it's on my end because I just checked and it's completely fine.
Okay,
You,
mine
you
was
completely froze. You completely froze.
okay. Yeah, you did too. So
So
I choose to know. Um, let's try it again.
let's try it again. So we got a little bit. I'll just ask you the first question. Take me back a little trip down memory lane to before you started Encompass Life.
Yep.
What were you doing at the time? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Yep. So like I was sharing with you, I've been interested in consciousness since I was a kid. I just didn't know what it was called. Just interested in biblical stories, and wondering why people weren't doing what Christ said, these things and greater things you shall do deal. I've been studying consciousness formally for about 35 years or so. I've studied mainstream stuff. I've studied some fringy stuff. I've studied in Europe. I've studied throughout the U.S. and was taking a lot of classes. I was also had numerous companies, and I had a lot of childhood pains I was trying to get rid of, or didn't realize how much they were affecting me, to put it that way. And as I began studying consciousness, I noticed there was a theme. Most every modality I studied was you got to think positive and don't think negative. I'm sure you've heard that stuff before, right?
Yes, yeah.
And to me, that was like one more voice inside my head trying to manage all the other voices. It was like, what the heck is this? I said, there's gotta be an easier way to do this. And I found the bones of the system about 16 years ago. And at that time, I was going through some pretty tough stuff in my life. I had some health issues. I had gotten into an accident. I couldn't walk.
Mm.
And I met this guy, and his mythology or methodology was heavy duty based on feelings. So I started working with him, and I noticed one physical changes in me very quickly. I'd worn glasses for 37 years. Within a week, my vision healed.
What?
Yeah, within a week, my vision healed.
Okay, teach me your ways. I have glasses.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. I've had bunches of people heal their vision with this system. We
Wow.
had taken allergy medicine for 30 plus years. My allergies healed the first day I did a class with the guy. I had skin conditions the doctors couldn't heal. Those healed within 2 weeks. I had a
Crazy.
speech impediment as a child. If I said a word incorrectly, I would get hit or yelled at. So I had a stuttering. My speech impediment went to a stuttering problem, and I stuttered for 50 years. When I met this guy, I went from a stutterer to clear speech in under 10 minutes. And not being able to speak in front of a group to easily speaking in front of a group. So my whole life changed in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So there were some things I really loved about the system, and then there were some things I could tell was off. I have an engineering background, so one of the things with an engineering mindset, like I could, if something's off, I go, okay, there's got to be a way to redesign this. I redesigned this system over about the last 12 years and launched Encompass Life about 7 years ago with this new method and beta tested it and make sure that we could produce the results that I experienced from going to do live classes. And some of the classes I did were month-long sabbaticals. So
Mm,
how most people can't do that, right? You can't take a month off of work. And sometimes I was taking 3 to 4 months off of work a year to go take classes. So
wow.
I said, there's got to be a way to be able to bring this to the masses. So I launched Encompass Life. I started as a lot of my clients were asking, where do we learn to be a coach like you? So I started the University of Encompass Life about 7 years ago. And I've been training people now to where we have a team of high level coaches who can train other coaches to become coaches. And during the course of the last 6 years, I didn't have a website. I was still running other companies. I All of our growth has occurred by word of mouth. And all of a sudden, I get calls from Australia, New Zealand, Russia. Hey, you worked for so and you cleared, and their thyroid healed. You worked for so and their cancer healed. Can you help me out here?
Yeah.
It's just word of mouth has been tremendous for us. And now we're starting to advertise, and I have a team of people who can do this, and now we're ready to scale up. It's time for people to understand how powerful our language really is.
Yeah, that's powerful. So walk me through what are the different offers? So I know you have the quantum leap technique, but if somebody was interested in everything that you're saying, and I'm definitely interested right now, what are the different offers and services that you provide? What do you think people should start off with? Walk me through that.
Yeah, we have three different levels of coming in, three different entry points. One is a class called the basics, and it's 2 2-hour calls a week for a month plus an individual coaching call. And
Mm,
then we have a class called from how question mark to wow exclamation point. And that class is an in-person 3-day class, and it is about producing a system to produce breakthrough results in your thinking in a matter of seconds. It also increases emotional intelligence, intuition, wisdom, creativity. All those things go up exponentially.
yeah.
We frequently have people who, within 90 days of taking that class, have doubled or tripled their income.
Wow. Oh, wow. And
Yep,
that's from
the wow. Say, oh wow.
yeah, yeah. From how to wow.
So,
There you go.
wow. Yep. And we had a lady come. This Some of this stuff sounds really crazy that things can happen like this, but we've had a lady come into class on a walker and really couldn't walk without it. And the second day of class, she walks across the room, and I'm sitting there watching her. She doesn't have her walker, and she all of a sudden she goes, "Holy moly! I left my walker over there. How did I get over here?" That's the
Yeah.
wild breakthroughs, man.
That's
And then we have a class called Body Electronics. That is a 4.5 day class, and I found that class. I attended my first Body Electronics about 16 years ago, and it
mm,
was the most profound experience I had in moving up scaling consciousness I've experienced in 20 something years in all my studies. It's
yeah.
super fast.
So I'm definitely going to do more research on this, but I'm sure guys like Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Yeah,
Jose Silva, what do you think are some of would you say there's any differences here?
yeah, absolutely. Most Joe Dispenza, he has a meditation technique, and you go to a class of his, and you're spending 5 hours in meditation a day plus more talking about how the system works. What we're doing here is having the person embody the system. And we have people coming from Dispenza doing our classes, and they said it would take us hours to get to that state of peace inside their consciousness. They go, we're walking after doing a couple classes with you, we're living in this space 24/7, basically. So you don't have to sit down and
How do you make that happen?
great question. Have you ever had a shot of tequila?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. All right. So you have a little shot of tequila. What happens to the feeling in your body and your brain and your thoughts,
My inhibitions get lowered, and
right?
all of a sudden I'm just I that's a great question. I don't know how to explain it. I feel a warmness in my chest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. So what's happening is a little shot of tequila is going into your system and it's changing your body chemistry, right?
Okay.
And it hits your brain, and it changes your brain chemistry, and all of a sudden your thoughts change. You're like, oh yeah, maybe there's a whole different conversation up there when you're under influence of a drug, right?
100%.
So, yep, so 100%. So rather than, and once that drug hits the system, the thoughts change automatically. So what we're doing here, I'm showing people how they can master their own body chemistry to change their feelings in a second and
Wow.
have an access to a whole nother level of thoughts instantaneously.
Wow. Can you give us like a teaser? Like what can somebody do at home today to do something like that?
Okay, great question. Mo in today's world, most people are walking around in a high state of anxiety. That's one of the
Mm,
big complaints. People, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And what I've discovered is that anxiety is really caused by one word. And you can change that one word and change your whole body chemistry when you change it. The word I'm speaking about is not.
is not.
It's NOT.
Got it.
The higher the percentage of knots a person speaks in their life, the higher the level of anxiety. It's a direct correlation.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. Stanford did a study and they said complaining damages the neurons in the brain. When some
Complaining is damaging neurons in the brain. Wow, that is powerful. I gotta
so
tell that to my brother.
so they said even if you're passively listening to somebody complain, it damages your neurons.
Wow.
So from Texas, you can probably tell by the accent. So I
Yeah.
like to simplify things. Complaining makes us stupid.
Even if
So
you hear someone complain, it's
even
making.
if you're passive, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't want this, I don't, you just don't understand how my partner is. You think you're having problems with your kids. Let me tell you about my kids.
Wow.
And right. So if there's a chemical that damages the neurons and stupefies them, I guarantee you there's going to be a chemical that's going to build neurons and have the person gain genius, intelligence, intuition, and wisdom.
I like that. I like that a lot. So there's all
So,
the polar opposite of that as
yes,
well.
sir. So what we do is, and here's the chemical that produces intelligence, genius, creativity, and intuition, and all those things. If you can take every one of your knots and change it to what you love, your life will change within 30 days.
Wow. Take every one of your knots.
Yeah. And there's fancy ways to say not, like unhappy, like you use the un in
Yeah.
front of it, anything that works on that side. And when somebody is speaking that high percentage of knots and uns, it's also a sign of suppressed anger and resentment that person is carrying inside of them.
How does somebody release that?
What's that again?
How do you release that? If
That's a great question. You know what the word release means?
to let go?
No, to release, to lease again.
Okay.
Think about what you're saying. Feel what you're saying. Is that really your choice to release it? No,
Release it. Yeah.
you
Okay.
can't. Or, and that's the other thing we're doing here differently. Release, let it go, get rid of all that stuff. None of that, pardon me, none of that crap works. Or
Mm,
it works to a certain degree, but it's still hanging out.
yeah.
So what we do is there's like you'll say, I'll just share with you. There's a chemical that damages the neurons. There's also a chemical that builds them. Correct.
Yep.
So what we do here, rather than releasing something or getting rid of it or any of that stuff, we find out what's the reversal, and we work on the reversal.
Mm.
And then once the reversal begins to take place in the person's body, those it's like sometimes there's really vivid memories of the pain that are associated when the person sits there and beats themselves up.
Yeah, yeah.
Once the reversal begins to take place, those memories start to go pixelated.
So let me give you an example. Let's say I made, and I'm not going to go into specifics right now, but let's
Perfect.
I made a mistake and I did something that was very stupid that I could have avoided in 2022. And this is actually something that did happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I remember the exact date. I remember what I was wearing. I remember what I was doing. I remember all of those different things.
yeah, yeah. Perfect.
How do I, and I can see that even to this day, that affects me in terms of how I make decisions, how I show in certain
Mm.
aspects of my life. I don't know if the release is the right word
Can,
anymore. How do I,
can we cuss a little bit on this show?
of course, yeah, go for it.
Okay, just say big.
Big fucking oops. Big
No.
fucking oops.
Now notice what happened. Notice what's happening in your body.
I like that. It felt,
What's happening in your body? And for those of you who are watching, look how his face changed, and he started smiling, and the
yeah,
wrinkles he had right around here. Notice how much smoother his face is. Just saying that.
big fucking oops. Yeah, I like
And
that.
now feel how your body went. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
nice, huh?
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
And that's what going through and processing and hashing all this stuff out. It's so there's it can be so fast.
Yeah.
And I've worked some of the systems I developed or got here. I've worked with some women who were involved in the MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse. So some really horrific stuff had happened with them. And most people talk about forgiveness and you got to forgive. What we're doing here is taking it a step further than that to be able to produce the results I was sharing with you about healing vision and all those types of things. Forgiveness kind of gets a person back to where they're to a place of okay. But what really produces this healing effect and where people really alter their life is when they can take that instance and find the real purpose in it and actually give thanks for that incident.
Mm.
And that's the only way that person can actually really get free from those information from that stuff. So it's really taking it a step further. And once they give thanks for something, I'll go, now, is there really anything for you to forgive here? And they just go, no. And once
Mm.
they find the blessing that there's no forgiveness is like there's nothing to forgive anymore. So you don't even have to do that step.
Yeah, I love
Really
that.
different. Yeah. I had a master's level psychologist take our classes about 3 years ago. And he came in and was watching how quickly people are transforming and walking. We had a lady who was on a walker a couple of years ago too. And she came in the class on the walker. Within a day or so, she threw her walker away. The next class she came to, she's dancing. I just worked with a guy who had Parkinson's in a class, worked with him for 20 minutes, and 70% of his symptoms disappeared in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, the system's super fast, and most people don't believe it's possible until they do a class and they go, "Holy shit, we see what you're doing here."
So then
So
what are you, as the owner of this business, what are your top priorities, let's say over the next 6 to 12 months?
we're I'm adding coaches who can lead the From Out a While class leaders. We're doing a doctor's symposium and summit next year. We have multiple medical doctors, both in the Western medicine field and also in naturopaths as well, who are doing our classes, and they've healed themselves doing our classes. And they're also taking these methods to their patients and are experiencing the same thing. Sometimes these are Western medicine doctors who are about getting people off of drugs. And so a lot of them are pretty well known, and we're going to be doing a summit next year with here's all the people talking about what they're experiencing, how they're doing it, so we can really get this into the medical community. We're also working. we created a partnership with an academic university. The guy who I told you was a master's level psychologist. He said, "Hey, you got to meet the dean of our school." So I met with him. He interviewed for about 8 or 10 hours, asked me all kind of questions, and they reviewed our class curriculum, checked out our students to make sure that we were doing what we said we were doing with them. And he says, "Hey, I'd like to offer you a PhD from our university. I had to do some stuff, but your body of work will qualify you for a PhD. And so we'd like to create a joint alliance with you, so people can take our classes and get a master's or PhD in transformational life coaching and our
Wow,
transformational leadership development." So that's a big deal for us.
that's huge.
Um,
That is huge.
so we just got that system really tied, buttoned up now. I think we got 20 people going through the master's level now.
Mm.
And so getting people to this level to where the company has to be bigger than me for it to really be successful. You got Tony Robbins, you got Joe Dispenza, but we call this Encompass Life because you get 20, 30 people getting up on stage and going, "Hey, here's what this system's really doing."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I love that. What is the two-part question? What is the best way for people to sign up? I'm assuming just go to the website, but then also, what is the best way for them to hear more of what you have to say, or even to read more about what you have to say, to learn more about these things?
yeah, we're on YouTube. We have Quantum Leap Technique is our social media moniker. The best way to sign up, uh, you go to our website, and we have a brand new website getting ready to launch now, but it's encompasslife.com. If you'd like some personal attention, you can email, it'd be short for the Quantum Leap Technique, QLT at encompasslife.com. And we have our sales team will reach out to you. Probably Crystal is the one who will reach out. And she's a great guide for, hey, here's the best place to start. And what are your goals? What's going on with you? And she can really assist you with that.
I love that. I love that. Hey, I'm on the website right now.
Yeah,
Mark,
we got a brand new website coming out. So that's what's going to be, it should be out in a couple of weeks.
awesome. Mark, thank you so much for your time. I love this conversation so much.
Cool. I do too. I could
Yeah,
talk about it for days, man.
yeah, you definitely have a future student coming aboard. You're in myself, so you'll see me at some of the live events coming up. Sorry, go for it.
And I have a link I can send out to you there'll be a special for somebody who's watching this. I'll get that sent to you once we get off it, and you can put it in as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. You did a great job interviewing, sir.
I appreciate that.
You're
So
welcome.
that wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to go to Quantum Leap Technique on YouTube. Also go to encompasslife.com, just the website, and you can email qlt@encompasslife.com.
Thank you, sir.
With that being said, if you're a business owner and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.